So I'm hoping that when they said, we're not going to bring Monster High back unless we do it right, I'm hoping they actually meant that. Hey everybody, it's the Doll Circle, and I am so excited. Like many of you know, Monster High. Yes, Monster High. I feel like this is something that I haven't said on this channel in so long. Monster High is coming back. So on February 22nd on Instagram, we saw some, like, I don't want to say like leaks because obviously we don't have any images of any of the live action or the dolls or anything yet, but it was official that Mattel and Nickelodeon are coming back with Monster High in a whole different way. Okay, try to stay calm, try to stay calm. Now there's so many videos and pictures and ideas coming out right now. If you want some other really good videos, I would definitely say check out Claudina's video, where really good deep dive into Monster High coming back. And then also some really good points brought up by Melissa from My World. So check out those two channels and those two videos, really, really, really good. But today I wanted to talk a little bit, while we talk about Monster High coming back, about some Monster High dolls that really meant a lot to me, some that were really pretty, some that started it all. Like, I just get into Monster High dolls again, because as soon as those dolls come out, you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be toy hunting and I'm gonna be finding these dolls. That's gonna be happening. I cannot wait, because as we know, this channel here, I mean, obviously I've been a collector my whole life, but really started when Monster High was at, probably I would say, its peak in the YouTube and doll and toy world. So starting off with the first one here, this one was the one that started it all. I remember walking down the Monster High section, because it became an aisle eventually, section at Walmart, and I remember going for Barbies and seeing this. And if you've followed this channel, you know my story. Like, I was going down with my mom and I was like, what is this by Mattel? Is this like a vampire Barbie? I didn't realize that it was a whole new line called Monster High. So Draculaura was the one that started it all, and because the lovely deterioration of rubber bands, the bat has fallen to the bottom. The pet is at the bottom. But I do have the original Draculaura doll, and I just cannot believe, like I said, we're coming back full circle years and years later for Monster High to come back. This is amazing and overwhelming, but in a good way, in a good way. So yeah, Draculaura was my first one. In the comments below, let me know what was your first Monster High doll, if you collect Monster High. I'm assuming if you're watching the channel, you probably have at least one Monster High doll. I feel like with most collectors, even lines that we're not huge fans of, we still have one. You know, it's like almost like we're a curator at a museum and we want to have one representing all of the dolls, you know, and that's how I am too. With certain dolls, like I'll buy lots of dolls, but I'll only buy ones that I really, really like, or sometimes like I'll not really like a line or a license, but then there'll be one where I'm like, I like that one. So if you do have one, or if you had a first Monster High doll, let me know in the comments below. But obviously mine was Draculaura. Gotta love Draculaura. And then going into this now new Monster High world, like, I'm a little scared because the reboot in 2016 was not my favorite. I mean, it is what it is. They were sweet looking, but not really. I feel like it wasn't the right time for them to reboot it in that direction. I just feel like it wasn't. So now going into this live action that they're doing, and then also, as we know, Mattel doesn't just create toys for the heck of it. They're doing it with the, you know, live action and new animation, all this coming out. So I'm wondering, like, are they gonna take it in a darker realm? Now with Nickelodeon, as we're familiar, is more tween friendly. So my concern is that it won't be as scary as I want it to be. Not saying that these were ever scary, because if we go to like some of these dolls, they made some that were, you know, whimsical and eerie, almost Tim Burton like. Oh, you're dusty, and you were in a bin. The dust gets through everything. And that was one thing with these dolls, like even with Sweet Screams. I'm bringing this one up because it's one of my favorite series. For me, it was a little bit different than what we've seen before from Monster High. I felt like the eyes were a little different, but it was very cartoonish and it was eerie, but it was never scary. I mean, obviously, I love scary dolls. I love dolls like Bleeding Edge. Dolls were, like I said, one of my first into like horror collecting. I don't really like Living Dead dolls too much. I like their aesthetic, but to me, those are scary dolls, right? That's what I would consider in the world of dolls scarier. To me, this adds a little spook to it, but without being blood and gory. Would I like to see that from Monster High? Of course, but I don't think, especially with partnering with Nickelodeon, that will happen for us. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit more cutesy, whimsical, and as long as they do a little bit of the spook, I'm gonna be happy with it. So let's see, let's discuss. Are you wanting more horror or are you wanting more cutesy? I like a little bit of both, but let's be realistic. Like I said, if they're partnering up, it's going to be on TV. It's going to, you know, the live action at least I think will be more in the directions of what we've seen with like Descendants and with zombies and like that type of stuff. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know if they're not gonna obviously copy Disney, but I feel like it'll be more in that world and realm. But I would like to be at like this at least, where it's like, to me, a good balance of spook and cute. Now with the talk of Monster High, we cannot talk of Monster High without talking about another doll line, Ever After High, and the crossover that we did not see and receive. There was talks of it, and it makes me really sad that they just kind of did it. Like Cupid was just like in Ever After High, and you're like, was she not just in the other one? What? Yeah, you know, it was kind of like out of nowhere. She was just like, hey, I'm Cupid, I'm in Ever After High now. And you're like, but you were in Monster High, like what, you know? And I'm kind of sad that they didn't go further into that. Now I get it, they probably just didn't have budgeting, they didn't have the time, they didn't want to take it in that direction. And I mean, it makes me a little sad because I would have liked to have seen them do something with that, but they didn't. And that to me was a big miss. Would I like to see Ever After High come back? Yeah, of course. Who doesn't want Ever After High to come back? I mean, Claudia and I were talking on, was it my live stream? Yeah, I think it was my live stream on Instagram the other day, and we were like, hey, like this is one thing that really like made me love Ever After High is like, we know Cinderella. We know Snow White. We know, you know, Maleficent and the Evil Queen, but with Ever After High, we got to see those traditional storytelling, you know, cute, I don't like to use the word cute all the time, but like more of like traditional Disney-like princess-like characters in a whole different way. I mean, looking at through like seeing Applewhite and seeing Raven and seeing Maddie, and like, you're like, wow, these are extensions of characters that we already know, but in a whole different way. That's why I loved Ever After High. And the detailing, I mean, come on. This doll got fishnets. And I keep, now it's my whole favorite thing now. It's like, where did fishnets go? They've never went anywhere. The quality was so perfect here, and I feel like that's something that we don't get a lot with dolls as much from Mattel anymore. We do see quality like that from MGA, which I'll touch on in a second, from MGA, where they're giving us great quality with the OMG and the Rainbow High dolls. But with Mattel, I feel like Ever After High was just like this. I mean, I remember when the first Raven doll came out, I was just like, wow, Mattel, get it. Get it. So yeah, I was really sad that they missed on that crossover, but it happens, you know, I guess sometimes things just don't work out. Now, something really iconic that I wanted to show you, which is iconic for me, a Monster High doll that means so much to me. Now, it's just a basic doll. It's like a budget line, which is so crazy that this was budget back then. Skullmate Roller Vase, Ghoulia. I don't know, this all means so much to me because I have it signed by so many, I don't know if you can see the signatures, and that just means so much to me. And my favorite signature on this is Robert Englund, who I know so many of you are probably like, Robert Englund? Unless you're a horror fan, you may not recognize that name. He plays Freddy, which is just a sassy character. I love Freddy so much from Nightmare on Elm Street. And then Jason Momoa also signed it as well. So like these have like really good signatures on it, and they mean so much to me. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where this doll realistically is not worth anything. I mean, it is worth something. I think she goes for like maybe $20, $30 or whatever on eBay, but sentimental value wise just means so much to me. And this really has nothing to do with the new release Monster High, but I just was like looking through my dolls and I wanted to pick some dolls for this video, and I was like, I have to talk about this doll that means so much for sentimental reasons. Because look, there's Robert Englund's signature, and that to me is so cool because he's such an iconic horror actor, and it's cool that in these dolls where they're not overly the top gory or, you know, offensive and horror-esque, but they have horror elements. And I got someone who's so famous in the horror world to sign one of these dolls. So yay. That was really important to me to share that with all of you. So yeah, this is my most sentimental value doll that I have. Now, with the talks of this live action movie coming out, people are asking, oh, who's gonna play who? And are we gonna get celebrities in those videos? Now, you should definitely, like I said, watch Claudia's video, tapped into some really good points on there. But for my personal take on it, I really feel like they aren't going to get huge names. They don't have a big budget. That's just, it's not gonna happen. I don't see like Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande partnering up and being in this movie. I mean, would it be awesome? Yeah. Would it realistically happen? Probably not. Now, if they want to contact me and wanted me to be in the movie, I'm available. You know, don't worry, I'll get tested and we'll be out. I'll be on a plane out there. Okay, don't worry, I will be out there. What character will I play? Any of them. Any of them. Background character, anything. I'll just be like, in the back of the camera, they're like having an intense scene and I'm just like, waving behind. I would love to be in that movie. I mean, will they take, I think it would be an interesting take if Nickelodeon and Mattel decided to bring in content creators that were really influential during the Monster High years. Like, you know, like I keep bringing up my friend Claudina, you know, as a prime example. So many other, you have to think, content creators, doll collectors, influencers, if you will. I don't like using that term too much, but you know, I mean, we're influencing the doll and toy world to bring into this movie. I feel like would be very interesting, very relevant for them too, because you have to think, most people now don't watch a commercial on TV. I mean, the average cable viewing isn't as high as what it used to be 20, 30 years ago. So people are watching YouTube videos. People are watching Instagram. They're on social media. And that's where they're getting a lot of their information and influences. So to me, it'd be interesting if they really sat down and was like, who would work in this movie? Like, you know, like, would the doll circle do it? I'm like, yes. I mean, no, what offers do you, I mean, let's talk serious business. What offers do you have for me? But I still want to do it. But I think realistically, they're going to bring in people from Nickelodeon. I feel like that's where they're going to get the pool of their actors and actresses from, would be from Nickelodeon, because it is, again, Nickelodeon is making this with Mattel. So I feel like that's where they're going to bring in a lot of their stars and characters from. Again, would it be nice to have Miss Lady Gaga there? Of course. But I know realistically, it's just something I feel like that won't happen. Now, if we were working with Universal, or let's say even another company like Paramount or whatever, like a bigger company like that, where they have the millions of dollars to throw around, I would like to think that they would bring in a lot of higher end stars. You know, not to belittle anybody off of Nickelodeon or any content creators, but again, you have to be realistic though in this world, and Lady Gaga's not going to show up and work for pennies. So, you know, let's be real. Let's be real. She's got, you know, she's writing albums. So it's one of those things where I'm a little sad about that, but I also have to be understanding and realistic on who they're going to bring in to this movie. And yeah, and right here, like I said, I have Lady Gaga is Zombie Gaga, and this doll is just, I love it. I love it. I regret not getting a million more of them and having an army of Lady Gagas in my room. I know it sounds silly, but I like sometimes envision these just like lined up somewhere. I think the box design was interesting. She did something very, I mean, obviously working with the Born This Way Foundation, did something back, giving back. Like, this was just so cool to me that they did this and that Mattel partnered up. And I remember when I was at Toy Fair, if I can find images, I'll put it here. I don't know if I still have them, where they just had the big giant banner, and this banner just had the silhouette of this doll and it said Born This Way. And I just remember looking at it and going, wow, we have come so far in like dolls and toys and, you know, with giving back. And it was just seeing that giant banner at Toy Fair and the Mattel booth was just breathtaking to me, and I hope we can get back to that feeling when I think about Mattel. So we'll see what ends up happening, but like I said, Lady Gaga in this movie, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, I would love it. I would love to see it. And a lot of people were talking also about Billie Eilish, but I've mentioned a few other times that Billie Eilish is contracted with Playmates for her doll creation, and when it comes to toy brands and stuff, I really don't feel like they are going to be able to break that contract, or I don't breach the contract somehow to get her in the movie. I don't see happening. I don't see happening. And one doll that I just had to bring up because it's still one of my favorites, Claudina got me this for Christmas, and I absolutely love it, and it's Winona. So like, I would love to see more outer characters, because the thing too, we've been talking like, do we want like just the core characters? Are they going to only bring back 3 characters? Is it going to be like a bunch of new characters? I would like to see some of the OG characters in there, and Winona was just like, to me, so interesting, so unique, because she had so many arms and she was a spider, and like, I don't know, she just looks so different from a doll design that, to me, thinking back, like when I was like 8 and I loved horror movies growing up, my parents didn't censor me from horror movies, and I remember watching it and I was like, oh, Barbie's pretty, and I love Barbie, and I had a million of them, but if I had a doll like this growing up, I would have literally just, too much. It would have been too much for me. Spooky things. And so I'm glad that they have these out, had these out, because it gave a lot of spooky kids options to play with, and I love that. And it showed kids who weren't into spooky things that spooky things can be accepting, and people who are different, and it's loving, and it Now let's touch on two more things I want to touch on. Okay, so we are all familiar, yes, Monster High is coming back, but we can't talk about Mattel and not talk about MGA because Bratz is coming back again. And as I mentioned in one of my other videos, it's like, during nuclear warfare, what will last? Cockroaches, Cher, and Bratz coming back again. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm totally living for that. I love things coming back if it's coming back right. Because you know what? We can talk about 2015 as much as we want, and I think I'm the only person on the planet that liked it, but this was not what the fans wanted. And I get it. So I'm hoping with this new comeback, people were joking about, and I'm gonna start coining that. So thank you on Instagram on one of my lives when someone said the doll wars are gonna happen again. I think doll wars will happen again. I feel like that, you know, Mattel coming back is almost like a, hey, watch out MGA, we're not going anywhere. You may have Rainbow High and OMGs and LOL, but we're still here. We're still alive. You know, and I think that's them kind of clapping back a little bit. But I also feel like, bringing it in, that MGA is also like, oh, okay, all right, Mattel, we'll let you have your second. You can have your moment. Let you have your Monster High again. Yeah, because Monster High was really thriving because at the time Bratz was not doing so good when Monster High first came out. So now they're like, oh, okay, you know, we're on top. MG's on top, but we'll let you have your little Monster High moment. But I think they're gonna strike. I feel like MG, you know, they're not someone who's the company that just sits there and goes, oh, okay. Girl. No, I think they're really going to step it up. I feel like they're going to bring so much with the new Bratz line. I like this. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they will come back hardcore. I feel like they are going to come out with, oh, you got movies? Well, we're going to do movies too. We're going to do this too. And I feel like they're going to do that because I don't think MGA is going to just sit back and let Mattel just roll them over with Monster High. I know the doll wars are going to happen. That should be a hashtag. I think we should start that doll wars. Let's go right now. And when it comes to quality, because obviously, you know, OMG and Rainbow High have such great quality, and we've had that before. Like, look at this, like, look, okay, I'm just gonna show Cupid because she's sitting right here with me. Like, look at the quality. Mattel can do quality. They've done quality. Where did it go? I mean, here we have MGA, and look at this, they're doing it now. So it is, quality now is, your brands are capable of doing it. I have to understand though, there isn't the budget like MGA has. MGA is rolling in some dough. We're talking billions of dollars with LOL. So they're able to put money in Rainbow High. They're able to put money in LOL. But unfortunately, Mattel doesn't have the Monster High money to roll into lines like Ever After High or back into Monster High. So I'm hoping that when they said, we're not gonna bring Monster High back unless we do it right, I'm hoping they actually meant that. And I'm hoping that they actually are going to do that. Now, will it be as amazing as the first initial launch? No, I don't think so. And I also have to be realistic. I don't feel like I want to look at the reboot and get the exact same emotion that I had from the initial release. We're in a different time now. You have to think a decade has passed. Fashions have changed. People have changed. The way kids view things have changed. And we have to still be realistic, even though, yes, I am a hardcore collector and I love dolls. These are meant initially to be purchased as a playline for toys. Now, when we had the collector dolls, pictures here, when we have the collector dolls like Pennywise and the Grady Twins, those obviously were meant as a way to give collectors something back and go, wow, this is what Monster High is. And I want to see more collector dolls mixed in with playlines because I feel like the youths of today should have Monster High. Now, will they have it the same way that I had it in 2010? No, of course not. But then again, I was already an adult collecting these, so my emotions are a little different, connected and tied with these dolls. Just like when I always say, like, oh man, the Bratz collectors are just so defensive with when it comes to bringing out new Bratz, because I have to understand that when Bratz first came out and when the little Y2K babies were running around buying all of these, that they were like, this was their end all be all of dolls. They were so iconic to them. So I understand that reboots, you're not going to make everybody happy, and it's not meant to make everybody happy. A reboot is a reinvention for a new time, for a new group of people to see something that came out prior. And we need to understand that. So I'm gonna end this video off today I know this was long. I know this was me rambling about so many Monster High stuff, a lot of stuff. But I want to know in the comments below how you're feeling, what you want from all of this, and hopefully Mattel and Nickelodeon will hear our cries and our pleas. And also want to put me in the movie, or in the voice acting position, or on the staff for creating the dolls, or wanting to promote the dolls, wanting to, I don't know, be anything a part of Monster High, because I literally will. Because, I mean, hello, who are the queens of Halloween? Can you see the bottom of my shirt? I mean, I love it. Now I'm like so excited. I'm like, I get to wear all of my Monster High shirts again, which I still wore them, but now I'm like, it's a whole new life. Oh, Monster High will have a whole new life, and I'm so excited for the new life that Monster High will hopefully have. I'm being optimistic. Realistic, but optimistic. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to check out all the links in the description below, because we have podcasts, we have Hunting Nostalgia, we have all of my social media, Twitter, TikTok now. Are you following me on TikTok? I gotta film some more TikToks today, actually. Ooh, I need to do some Monster High TikToks. That'll be fun. So TikToks, I mean, there's so much out there, and I'm on all platforms. So look up everything from Elvira Taylor, which is me, to the Doll Circle, which is me. So I'm excited to see and hear all of you. Bye, guys. All right, I'm so excited. Monster High, Monster High.